I'm gonna get a joke out. I look like Professor Snape. I look like the original caveman. Anyway, I'm gonna get a quick video out there just to, get it into it, So I think what happens when listen, I cut out the fat as I proceed to add some filler. But anyway, let's get right into it. I think what happens when you die is, so I think there is no such thing as the first dimensional. Well, there is one dimensional and there is two dimensional. I think. I think one dimensional would be. I think one dimensional and second dimensional is numbers and symbols, and then they create. Damn, I'm about to really get into it. Yikes. Okay, so I think the first dimension, second dimension are numbers and symbols, and that's why what's his name? One of the Buddhas or one of the Confucius said like numbers and symbols like rule our world. It's because I think the numbers and the symbols create the physical world, which is the third dimension. And think about it, laws and numbers and things, and that's all. It's weird to think, but that's really physical. If we have, when you say there's 10 people, right? People is subjective now. Some people don't want to be referred to as people, but there's 10. That's a scientific fact, and I'm like big on science. But anyway, you know what I mean. There's 10 of something. No matter what it is, there's 10. So there's a law there. There's proof there. But the people is subjective. Everything else is subjective. I have 10 pairs of sneakers in my background, but the sneakers is subjective. It could be shoes. It could be boots. You know what I'm saying? You see what I mean? And then you get the third dimension. That's where people exist. That's where the physical laws, compound. That's where, we have us. And I think that's where the creation of, that's when you see the good and evil. That's when good and evil is the thing. And I think, so good and evil has to exist. It has to. It needs to be a thing. It's because I think life is funny, and I think we take it too serious. And I think what happens is you choose who you want to be in your next life. This life, I've said before many theories of what I think this is, and there's just a new one, and this is just entertainment, and this is just more food for thought, so that somebody could watch this video and then they can build upon my idea and they can continue it, and then they can give it back to me and say, no, maybe what's this, and then I can ponder that, and then it's how you build. It's how you build. People don't want to think anymore, and I don't blame them. But anyway, the third dimension, like I said, this is where good and evil exists. So what we do is we create who we want to be. So that's why I think there's something deeper than like Egyptians, talking about, guiding through their next life, like where they're going in their next life. Because I think, just taken from what they say, I think you have a possibility of, I'm thinking and talking at the same time, and I'm trying to make sure I say the right thing. You can choose to be good or evil, and it's all about the knowledge you gain in this life. And knowledge is tangible. I think when you die, the only thing you can bring with you is, as they say, material things you can't bring with you. The Egyptians tried. They wanted to do it just in case, like, hey, that's how the Egyptians were black, is because, just a little funny tidbit, is because, my dad, as a kid, always make sure you have some napkins on you, or make sure you have some, put a 20 here, and, like, it's just little thing. It's like, that's a black people thing. Or make sure you always have some, some medicine on you or something like that, just to make, you never know. And the black people always, you never know. Right? So they wanted to just, hey, you never know. Let's bury him with some fruit. He may get hungry. You know what I mean? He's just going to wake up with it, and you never know. He might have some fruit. But overall, knowledge is the only thing you could bring. So depending on what you do in this life, it depends on how knowledgeable you are in the fourth dimension, the fourth life. There's I think there's 7 layers. That's why there's seven layers of well, they say hell, but I think there's, there's 7 layers of heaven. There's 365 days, or what is it? It's 7 layers, and then there's 365 like steps in between the 7 layers, or something like that. There's a bunch of people who have all the different, information. All the religions have different pieces of the thing. The knowledge, the numbers. That's where we say the numbers. The numbers give physical sense. So anyway, you're maneuvering through this life, the next life. And this is where you can, that's where evil can exist. That's where I think, so in this life, evil is real. It's tangible. And then in our next lives, it's like, that's where the light versus dark comes into play. Because I don't know necessarily if we're beings. We could be light. And I think you can choose what you want to be. And I think that's interesting. And I think after that, you have knowledge of where you want to go, and you can continue that journey. And then I think when you get to the 5th dimension, if however you ascend, I think you start to absolve into one. And then I think that's where the yin and yang symbol comes from, where, there's a white with a black dot in it and a black with the white dot in it, because now we're blended into one. We're finding it harder to not coexist with one another. In the 4th dimension, we were fighting. 5th dimension, we can't really do so. And then the 6th, I think we get closer to the source, and I think we become one, and then we understand everything. And I think that's when you completely understand everything. I think you completely understand everything. You have the dark, you have the light, I think you have all the knowledge, and then the 7th layer. And this is where it's tricky. This is just what I think. I think that's obviously where God is, and I think you have a choice if you even want to go there. And I think that's when you get to go back down to the 3rd, and I think that's when you come back down to here. And I think you can repeat that process. And I think you do. I think a lot of people choose to, because they kind of miss that. Because at that point, because when you go to the 7th, that's just, you're going right back to the source. And granted, the source probably feels amazing, but 6 probably feels very good too. Probably feels like you're right there. And I think, a lot of people are like, I'm just going to go back and do it again. I know what I know now. And get this, I think that's where the tease is. You just get wiped. I think it's a degradation of information. I think you can only bring it with you up. I think you can't carry it down. That's what I think. I think some, and I think it all depends, because this is how I view it. I view it where the 3rd to the 4th, it's whatever you learn in the 3rd, right? Then you're going to learn more in the 4th, and then you're going to learn more in the 5th. But the thing is, it's not learning anymore. It's feeling. It's a knowing coming to you. It's not knowledge you're learning. It's a knowing coming to you. It's a difference. It's 2 different things. I hope this video is making sense in a little bit. I know it's a lot of rambling, and I know it could be baby necking, could be making no sense. I hope it makes sense though. But anyway, it's coming to you. So when you go almost to the source, you've joined it. You didn't become it, you joined it. So when you're going back down, you're coming back down to what you already knew, you already had. So whatever you had before you left is what you're going to come back down to. So if you knew music and math and you were really good at that, you're going to come back down in your next life with that skill. That's what you're going to know. Well, it's going to be foggy, but it's going to come back. That's when, you're going to learn about what you know of everything. It's just going to be there. It's just waiting for you to find it again. And that's why I say the same thing. It's same thing with the separation of knowledge coming to you and you learning it. I think that was a pretty good video. I hope this makes sense. This was some ramblings of a, I don't know, psychotic person. I don't know. Thank you for watching.